What is up, everybody online? How's it going? Happy Thursday. Oh, it's not fucking Thursday. It's Wednesday. Damn it. Damn it. It's Wednesday, guys. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Make that 4. Oh, North Carolina, Georgia, and Bama and Utah. Sorry, guys. I've already started the show. I was already on Instagram. We went live, and I had old DKV over there telling me about his wrestling travels and where he's going to be in the next few months or the next few weeks, or actually where he was and now where he's going. So it should be pretty fun. It should be a good night. But how is everybody? Happy Thursday. Fuck, I keep wanting to say Thursday, but it's not. It's Wednesday, guys. It's Wednesday. It's Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. All right, let me double check and make sure that we are actually live everywhere that we're supposed to be. All right, good deal. We're right there. Papa Jordane's on that one. Let's see. How about this? Yep, Papa Jordane's on Twitch. How about that Facebook, though? Let's see. I got to get the Facebook up. I didn't even get these up. Oh, sorry, guys. And I do apologize for my voice being gone because there's not much that I can really do about it because, you know, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. My voice is gone. Still from the weekend, from all that yelling that I do whenever I'm wrestling, because I have a lot of fun whenever I'm wrestling, especially when I'm wrestling and I can yell. I love being able to yell at everybody. It's the best thing for me anyway. It works out well because I am a yeller. I am a screamer. I'm a screamer. Keyframe is still low, but hopefully it's not too low. Let's see. Hopefully it'll be all right. But you never know how this stuff goes, you know. I like the updated background. Yeah, we got to update the background, brother. We always got to update the background. I change it. I do change it actually sporadically, and sometimes I'll move the shirts out and around, and then I'll change the pictures because I have a hell of a lot of pictures, but I wasn't putting a lot of them, you know, out there like that. But now they're gonna start being used. I got to use them because I need them for my background, man. We got to keep it fresh. We got to keep it fresh as death, you know, fresh to death, as fresh as possible. One last piece, and we're gonna get started. All right. By the way, congratulations. I'm so glad that we got the belt back with us. Oh, thank you, Shai. Yes, ma'am. We got that New England All-Star Wrestling Heavyweight Championship back here, and we are good to go. Ha, ha, ha. Why you want Thursday so badly? I don't know why I want Thursday so badly. I have no idea. I'm just stuck in my head with that one for some reason. What's up, Boston baby? How are you? Good to see you. We're just hanging out here on our Wednesday night, getting ready to rock and roll for the normal show, as we tend to do on our weekdays. And I'm getting ready. Ooh, somebody just liked the page. Thank you for liking the page, Lori and Erwin. Thank you, Erwin and Jana and Laura. You guys are amazing. You guys get extra points. Oh, shit, look at Mahoney Games here. Thursday. Are you sure about that? I'm not sure about that, Mahoney. I'm really not sure about that, so I don't know. Lori, hello, Lori. Thank you for liking the page. Guys, if you guys can go on and like the stream, that'll help push us out towards, other people in the algorithm. You know that shit by now. Laura, stop letting the trees hit you. Then you will remember it's Wednesday. And stop popping on Instagram first. Your original fans are Facebook and YouTube, so we deserve you first. Boston Baby, I received my shirt today. Awesome, Boston Baby. Yeah, hell yeah. I used UPS this time, and UPS is a different. I usually use a USPS, the United States Postal Service, and they have been taking forever here recently. And I didn't know if it was my fault or if what the hell was going on with it. I don't know what the deal is, but it turns out that they're good. They're good to go. They're good to rock and roll. The UPS is more expensive. That's the shit thing about it. UPS is more expensive, but what can you do? I got to charge more on shipping. So guys, I'm sorry, prices are going up because we got to charge for shipping, because instead of it being $5, we got to go to $10. Actually, it's like $11.50, but depending on, all of the shipping, I'll just do 10 and then everything else. It all evens out as it is. Oh, Lori, you got yours today too. Awesome. I love it because I did send out we got to get our big bunches of stuff, and then we put them out all over the place. We put them out as far as we can. So I try to post all my, I try to mail out all of the orders as soon as I get them. So usually we don't have too much lag in between. We'll have a little bit of downtime in between, like if I'm coming back from wrestling, because I was traveling a lot this past weekend. Mahoney Games. Other people are okay, so we are not good enough for you. I'm hurt. Oh, come on, Mahoney. See, you guys are guilt tripping me now. Why are you guys guilt tripping me like that? And Josh Teasley said, shipping is a massive scam. And shipping is a massive scam. I am totally in line with that. That's exactly what it is. Because if you pay for the premiums, they want you to pay like $50 for shipping for you to get it there as fast as UPS. That's the thing. The Postal Service really wants you to pay like $50 for like a T-shirt, which weighs nothing. It's all horseshit. It's like you're not even shipping too much. And it's supposed to be. It realistically is supposed to be. You gather up all these little shipping things, and then you organize them, and then you put them out to the right spots, and then you make your money off of that. But the shipping has just gotten out of mind. It's gotten out of control, and now it's ridiculous. Laura said, and some of us come on YouTube now to build the business, and he forgets to respond to us a bunch. LOL. A bunch? I never forget to respond. What are you talking about, Laura? What are you talking about? A bunch? What are you talking about? There we go. Good deal. So we're ready to rock and roll. So I was at the Shred Shed earlier today, working out with old Lee a couple of times in the past, and am I frozen on Facebook, or are we good on Facebook? How are we? Because I'm frozen over here, but I don't know. Rick Morris has liked the page. Thank you so much, Rick Morris. Not liking the page, but liking like the video. Thank you so much, Rick Morris. Obviously, we appreciate that. All right, it looks like we are still good on Facebook. So, all right, good deal, good deal. There's a couple of things that I do need to change on that as well. So I will be fixing that very quickly. Lori said that was really fast. Yes, it was really fast, and that's the thing. I'm really happy about the UPS thing, because you got to pay $5 more, but it's really not that bad. Cena fan said, yes, it sucks. Yes, shipping sucks. Yes, shipping does suck. You're buffering on YouTube just 2 quick times. Shit. We'll have buffering one more time, and then this is going to be an experiment for the last couple of times, because I set the settings a little bit lower this time, and then they were too low, so I set it up just a little bit. So I'm going to have to bump it up just a little bit more, and then I think that we'll be doing a lot better now. But thank you for the like over there, Christopher Barklow. Thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. Christopher Barakaloff, if you are there, thank you for joining the stream. Your follow obviously helps us out a lot. Facebook and YouTube is our most popular stuff. Teasley said shipping is a mass scam, and then Cena said yes, shipping sucks. Laura, 6 people like the YouTube page, even though you don't get notifications. 6 likes on that YouTube, guys. Thank you so much for the 6 likes on YouTube. That is much better than we normally do, so that's awesome. Good job, guys. Good job, guys. We're starting to get to the point to where we can start making some changes and stuff. We can start making a real difference in the world. Christopher Barklow, you are very welcome. Awesome, man. We definitely appreciate it. We always appreciate the support, especially when we get new people coming in. Now, like I was saying, I'm going to try to go back to the story at hand. I was working out in the Shred Shed with my cousins, and we were talking about this tank. This guy that went on this rampage in a tank in the 1990s. And we were like, man, yeah, you remember, like, this guy, like, he just grabbed a tank and he just started driving down the city and started knocking shit over and just went on a rampage. And then he got killed later. And, spoiler alert, the captains of these ships never actually survive. Either they take their own lives or the police take their lives. So it is cool. It is what it is. Laura said, yes, changes are welcome. Can we change the host? Well, only when we get Dreama on here. Only when we get Dreama on here. I trust Dreama enough to be the host of the show when I'm not here. Nobody else, though. It will be only the Dreamster. So the tank just drives through stuff like it is nothing. It drives through stuff like it is absolutely nothing. Like everything is a toy, and it's just driving through like it's nada. It's nothing. It's very easy to just grab your shit and then just start rolling through everything. You're rolling through literally everything, guys. It's crazy to me that, I mean, it's not really that crazy to me because I'm aware of how it all came down, and people are crazy. That's a common theme on this show is people are just generally crazy and out of their minds. We're like sick animals sometimes. But if you push people to a certain point, and it makes me think of, and it's not necessarily like you're pushing them or we're pushing them collectively on purpose, but sometimes it seems that people can't deal with modern society because we have so many extra stresses that cause anxiety that you normally wouldn't do. I mean, if we think about it, we have millions of years in the woods, and then like 6,000 years ago, we started creating civilization, which is civilization as we know it. There's always been some type of a civilization because everybody would always gravitate to it. It's like the Aztecs in Mexico. The real Mexicans 500 years ago plus beyond then, Mexico City was like the home base, and everybody would come into the home base. And there were hundreds of tribes that lived around the circumference. There was a lot of politics and a lot of weird stuff that you had to deal with in tribal societies. But our society that we have now, that we've been pushing, the Western society, it seems like people sometimes lose their mind and either go on a rampage, like we see the shooting rampages, or they'll go on, or they'll kill themselves, which obviously majority of the time, if the options are for them to kill 10 other people and then kill themselves, or just kill yourself, bro. Just kill yourself and get it over with. Don't bring too much pain onto other people's problems. Mahoney, this is actually actually a very good point. Mahoney said, "I think the world needs a hard drive reset, and we can just start again." I think that there's a lot of people that have that same thought process as you do because they want to restart everything because everything's shit. And I don't know how many people I've talked to who have said that, oh, why would I want to bring a kid into this world? The world is horrible. The world is horrendous. Why would I want to bring a kid into this? This is so bad. Everything is so bad. I don't think it's that bad. People are bad. People can be bad. People are bad. But it's not the end. It's not like if you want to have kids, have kids. If you don't want to have kids, don't have kids. That's what's beautiful about the society that we live in right now. Majority of the time throughout human history, there have not only been society or what are they called? Dictatorial type leaders who would bear down on the normal, the working class or the normal class or the plebs, the slave class or whatever. Throughout time, there's been different classes, and majority of us are from that class. That's just where majority of the people came from. We're not like elite people, which is what like that weird eugenics stuff where they were like some of those Western Europeans, they kept it all in the family and they like had sex with their second cousin so that they could keep it all. Yeah. You know, like the people get so weird with that stuff. And then there's different like tribal societies in the Middle East that also have that, but then they practice polygamy. But that's not only a Muslim thing, but you also get that in Christianity. Over here in America, over there in Utah, the Mormons, although they can't actually practice polygamy in America, they went to Mexico. They went to Mexico because polygamy was legal in Mexico. And they went there, and they're super rich people. A lot of them are super well connected in normal society as it is. Mitt Romney, ever heard of that name? Mormon. Half of his family moved to Mexico. They're polygamists. You know, it's all these types of things that we're trying to think about. Wild family business. I know it's a wild family, right? Exactly. Facts and thoughts, though. Exactly, DK. Exactly. That's the thing. It's very interesting. It's all very interesting. And what's up, Allison? I'm glad that you made it. Allison is here as well. Wild family, dude. It's all crazy, man. It's all crazy. But they all have like wild family businesses. It's like, just pick your poison. Pick out whatever it was. But as I went off on that little tangent, we do live in a society, and the society changes culturally through different countries and different areas and different geographies, obviously. When you think about it, like Japan has a suicide forest where people go out there and they commit suicides. And a lot of their suicide notes that they leave basically say, not verbatim, but basically say, I'm not made out for the modern world. I don't want to be here anymore, and I have to end it. So I'm mainly making these points because I want to try to point out that a lot of people have a lot of problems. They come up with different ways to do it, and obviously this rampage stuff is very fascinating. You never get to see that stuff. DKV. Suicide Forest is crazy. Been going on since the 1400s. The 1400s! See, I didn't even know that. The 1400s. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Like, that's a destination to go kill yourself. It's been there since the 1400s. Asians have too much family pride. If they fail, they feel they have let their family down and just end it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There you go. What was it, the 1400s? Not modern to our day, but these people have obviously felt some kind of weird pressure where they don't feel like they can continue on in the world. And that sucks. That sucks. And that's what I feel like most of what we're trying to do right now is to try to get people to where they don't get into that point. They don't get into that point. Shy said, wow, Ron, sometimes I really feel how nicely to talk to you. Trust me, you should start writing a book, Ron. Motivational books. Yeah, I do write a lot as it is anyway. But I journal. I mainly journal. Most of my stuff is journaling. But that helps me keep my mind straight, you know. Korea culture and Japan too. Yeah, that makes sense, man. That makes sense. It seems like it's like you see more of it from Japan. But Korea seems like it's very similar. I mean, they're very similar in their ways anyway, especially with the location. So that makes sense. But that's just crazy, man. It's just crazy that that's a normal thing for people. It seems like it's a normal thing for them. There's literally a place called Suicide Forest, and people go there to kill themselves. It's crazy, man. Crazy. But people, it's like I said at the beginning, at a certain point, you've dealt with so much. You can't do it. It's just like the dishonor. Exactly, Danny. I'm just going to call you Danny. Danny, it's just like the prime minister or the emperor of Japan, whenever, after the second nuclear bomb went off, he killed himself because he was like, I've dishonored. Not only did he dishonor his country or his family, he dishonored his country. And dagger right into the liver, gone, bye-bye. But he didn't go to the Suicide Forest for that. But it's interesting because that's definitely a cultural thing that people do. They're like, I have failed. I am a dishonor. I am a failure as a fucking life. I need to get rid of myself so that I don't do any more harm. I've already caused enough harm. Man, that's some deep stuff, man. That's some deep stuff. Mahoney Games, I hate to say it, kids born after 2010 have no hope. There's too many problems. And people who get offended too easy, they just have no hope. Mahoney, I don't think that they have no hope. They definitely have some hope. But I think that the tough thing that they have to deal with and that we all have to deal with is, you know, we have serotonin. We have these chemicals in our brain that make us feel good or make us feel bad. And a lot of times if people take like very hard drugs and they're on this very big high, their serotonin crashes and then they go on a very big low and they feel like absolute shit afterwards for a while afterwards. But that's because you depleted all your serotonin. You felt amazing last night, but now it's the morning. Now you got a hangover. Now you feel like shit. But a hangover, different for alcohol and weed, not even weed, but like regular drugs like crack. I guess, I don't know. I never did crack. But I'm assuming that there's definitely some type of a pull downward. Now, I'm using drugs as an example. Now, just like Mahoney Game said, kids born after 2010 have Majority of them have their moms or dads putting a fucking Apple iPad in front of them, and then they're playing with it, and that's already horrible for your eyes. These children ain't going to be able to see shit. And then they get so addicted as children to get their dopamine, from those iPads, because now you're training the kids to either, if they're watching TV, they're getting dopamine. If they're playing games, they're getting dopamine. Whatever they're doing, they are going to be addicted to that pad, that iPad, that whatever it is, because they're games that are addictive. They're designed to be addictive. It's supposed to hack your brain and make you want to come back to it. So if you put a child from 2010 and on into that situation, they are in a failing position. It is already going to be hard. You're going to have a hard time being able to make shit. You're going to have a hard time being able to tell what's real, what's not, what's offensive and what's not. This offends me. Everybody should be offended. So there goes a little bit of the cancel culture, because they grew up thinking that they are completely connected into this iPad. Now, like, how my feels are should be your feels, or vice versa. Doesn't really happen like that. Now people get sensitive, which sensitivity is a good thing. I think that the sensitivity thing, it's a good thing to an extent. But if you push it beyond and push it beyond and push it beyond, the sensitivity is not a good thing. We do need to be sensitive to certain things, but at a certain extent, we can't let it be a detriment to us. Look, you get a dopamine rush from caffeine. You get a dopamine rush from all this stuff, from everything. Like, we're playing games with ourselves. We're like hacking ourselves. So that's why people get addicted to that stuff. That's why people are alcoholics. That's why they're drug addicts. That's why they're video game addicts. That's why they're food addicts. That's why they're a little bit of everything. Mahoney Games said also, at least they don't kill their families and a load of innocent people. They just kill themselves. Right, and that sucks. But at least if you have to take one of the two, yeah, kill yourself, man. Don't go out there and kill anybody else and create so much more pain in everybody else's consciousness. Just end it yourself, because you are obviously not happy and it's not making you happy. You have to be careful. And all of this stuff, guys, the printing press happened, and then the world changed after the printing press. That's because poor people could read books. Once poor people started becoming educated, and I mean educated in a sense of they were able to read books now. Once they became able to read books, everything changed. The opinions changed. The Magna Carta came along. The Magna Carta made it to where you have to worry about your people. You ain't no fucking king. Just because you're a king don't mean you ain't going to take care of your people. And then they started actually doing that. Printing press created opportunities. Printing press created so many opportunities. Well, that's what I'm saying. Printing press not only created opportunities, but it completely changed the world. It created opportunities. It changed the world. It changed the way that people viewed the world. They viewed the world completely differently now, because they could get an access to information that they did not have access to previous to that throughout human history. So now you get the printing press, a couple hundred years later, everything's changing. Everything's changing. We've only had the internet since the 1980s, guys, since the early 1990s. All this stuff is still so new, especially for our biology. Our biology is going to have a hard time regulating our senses and our brain and our everything that goes on the inside, because all this new information is coming along. That's like porn. Porn is horrible for you. It makes you think that it's right there. And then you start like, people get addicted to that. There's so many things that people get addicted to. And it can be so detrimental. It could be good. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of positives with these things. But there's also a lot of negatives. There's a lot of things that can go very, very wrong, very, very fast. Especially when, we're all monkey people. We all descended from apes. So we don't have quite as much control as we really think that we do, or that we hope that we do, or that we want to believe that we do. But yes, the printing press created so many opportunities. It created a change in people's consciousness. Whether for the good or for the bad, it depends on what it was. It depends on how it was for majority of the people. I try to judge it by majority of the people's lives all started getting better. So if it started getting better, awesome. If it started getting worse, not so good. Right now, by the way, we do live in the greatest time to have ever lived as a human, at least. It doesn't feel like it, though, huh? almost like we watch too much TV, we have too much access to media that's right here in our faces that we are not evolved to be able to handle. So all of this information is coming at us so fast. And you see all those crazy changes that happen with the printing press. It's going to be happening 10 times with the internet. And the internet's only been around 20, 30 years, man. It has not been around that long. But the access to information that all these people get now, it's crazy. It's crazy the access to information that people have now. And it's like hard for people to even understand and register how exactly to handle that. How to handle it. How do you handle it? Do you go to therapy? I don't even, I think the therapy is a good thing, but I don't like when people get on all these different big drugs, SSRIs and things like that. I think that people go to SSRIs too fast, too early. I think that they could actually try to get themselves in a more positive point in their lives without it first, but you got to take so many different steps to try to have that change to where if you just take a pill, I'll just take a pill and it makes me feel good. But the problem is with those pills, they could make you have suicide. They could just make you not feel anything. You don't feel anything anymore. So do you want to feel sad? Do you want to not feel anything? That's another crazy thing that we all have to consider, especially with this. Danny said people aren't too butthurt too easily. They split. Yeah, fuck the pills. Yeah, dude, I agree. Fuck the pills, guys. Fuck the pills. If you need it, obviously take it. But I don't trust half these doctors, and you shouldn't either. You should not just believe them just because they're a doctor, because there are so many examples of doctors doing some shady ass shit just for some money. So, modern society, guys. We live in a society, right? And Shai said, it's true. The world right now is so much fast-paced. If you want to survive, you have to complete so many. But people need to realize that the only person you have to be better than is you yesterday. You have to be better than yourself yesterday. That's very true, Shai. That's very, very well stated. Mahoney said, iPads are the new cocaine. Yeah, dude. Yeah. iPads are the new cocaine. Exactly. And they're hooking children on them very young. Very young. Doesn't seem like it's a good thing. Danny said, a lot of athletes and cancer survival prove doctors wrong. Right. A lot of athletes definitely prove a lot of doctors wrong. They don't understand. I'm sure they understand the wherewithal that people have, but they don't deal with those types of people very often. So it's one of those things. Shai said, Mahoney, I feel that, in fact, kids these days have a tough time understanding what is childhood and what is adulthood. They keep struggling to understand that. Yeah, because they're being indoctrinated or whatever words you want to say. They're just being bombarded with all of this media, especially if your parents put a fucking iPad in your face when you're a baby. You're already behind the game. You're already, it's already going to be hard for you. It's modern society, guys. Modern society. But now we're going to go into it. So what happens whenever you've just had enough? You've just had enough. You're not going to do it. What was that? What was Owen Hart's old music? Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Whether that change is good or bad, something's going to be changing. Now we transition on inwards to the San Diego 1995 tank rampage. Very fascinating. DKV said, yeah, I hate that. My little cousin be all up on that iPad for the whole day when he was like 2. Yeah, dude. I have nieces and nephews who have had to do the same thing, and I just hope that in the long run it doesn't affect them the way that I think that it's affecting them, because I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good. You're gonna want that dopamine all the damn time now. You're gonna want to feel good all the damn time now. And this is a conversation that me and Bailey have in the shred shed all the time, where he's cutting back on his food because he's trying to lose some weight, And, you know, you have to eat healthier food, which isn't quite as enjoyable. You get another dopamine hit because you feel good because you're eating the food. Another reason why you get addicted. It's all based off of this brain stuff, guys. This brain science is fucked up. But we're like our own worst enemies because you keep going back to it. But we're like those mice in the experimental cages where they give cocaine and then the mice just keep going back to get cocaine until they kill themselves. Because they just cannot stop themselves from being hardwired. Oh, I like that. That feels good. Oh, I like that. That feels good. Oh, I like that. Oh. And then you literally see people do the same thing with whatever the substance is. Whatever the substance is, whether it be like crack and they get super skinny or the opposite, it's hamburgers and they get super fat. Either way, there's still some type of a dopamine response happening when you're eating that, when you're having that cheeseburger and you're having that cocaine or crack or whatever it is people take whenever they're, you know, doing their drugs and whatnot. Mahoney Games, yeah, I agree. Did you see a 12-year-old? Everybody's lives, everybody's lives. Yeah, I seen that. I think that was in Florida. Where they had the shootout, and it took a couple of hours, and it lasted until it went dark. It lasted until it started getting dark, and that's when it really got scary. And that right there, exactly. These young kids, probably on video games or TV. That doesn't mean that like 14-year-old and 12-year-old should know better than to think that they're going to break into somebody's house, steal their guns, and start like rocking out with it. Like this just doesn't work. That's not a good thing, you know? That's not how it should. It's not how it should be though. Danny said, yeah, it's hard to break out of that habit. That's the key though. That's the thing. That's why they want you to be hooked to it, because they want you to buy iPads. They want you to buy their drugs. That's why, like, drug dealers will give you their first batch for free. Here, man, you just try it. Take a little sniff of this Coke. Come back when you want some more. And then they get you hooked. It's just like, hey, here's a free trial going through Sam's Club. Here's a free trial. Oh, did you taste that? Did it make you feel good? Maybe you want to come back and buy some more. Everywhere, man. We got traps literally everywhere, and it's all playing the brain games. We have brain games going against us. It's literally, and I don't think it's for us at all. It's for their gain. It's for our loss, because you don't need it. You just need some food to get through the day, you know? Danny said, he said, like, I have free samples. I take like 30. I do too. Yay, man. If you're going to give me some free foods, I'm going to get a meal out of it. I ain't going to just sit there and just let your ass go. I'm going to get a meal out of that shit, bro. Shai said, I won't prefer pills because right now the medicine is also business. It's completely business. That's why Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson spiked up during the pandemic. Business. Take advantage of the business. And I'm not saying like plandemic or anything like that. I'm just saying, you know, take advantage of your opportunities, guys. Right, Johnson & Johnson? I won't prefer pills because right now the medicine is all business. I remember during my mom's age, they used to respect doctors as God, but now it's all business. Sad truth. Yeah, it's all about making money. It's all about making money, especially here in America. Most of them are making money. How many fucking videos have you seen of this kid saying like, oh, I went in and I was just sad and this doctor put me on some medicine and I got all fucked up from it and then I got off of it and now I'm okay. You see that shit all the time. You see it all the time. And SSRIs, it's not like it's an exact science. They have to try it out. We'll give you a little bit and then, you know, if you feel like it's okay, we'll give you a little bit more next time and then a little bit more. And then we'll keep going as we go. But that's just what it is. That's just the unfortunate sad truth about it, but that's everything here in America. Like, don't go try to go buy a car. You might get screwed over. Don't go to the doctors. You might get screwed over. Don't go buy healthy food that is advertised as healthy and get screwed over. I don't know how many times I see wrestlers. I'm just going to shit on wrestlers because I'm a wrestler and I see all my friends, and not all my friends, but I see a lot of people posting shit. Oh, man, this pre-workout is amazing. Why don't you take that? Man, fuck that. You don't need no pre-workout. Use your brain. Get in there and fucking lift some weights. It ain't going to make you lift heavier weight. That's up to you. It's up to you. So what if you feel bad? Once you get your heart rate up, you're going to feel better. I used to be addicted. I used to be addicted to those fucking things. I couldn't work out without taking pre-workout. And then just one day I was like, man, this is horseshit. This is too much caffeine. This is just too much for me. I need to back off, and I need to stop. You need to stop. I'm talking to myself. I need to stop. So I stopped, and I switched to black tea. That's why I switched to black tea. Now my caffeine is through black tea, and now I'm getting to the point where I feel like I can back off of the black tea a little bit too. I don't like that dopamine bullshit with it. I don't like feeling like I have a dependency on some type of caffeine when you don't need it. You really don't need it. That's what's funny about it. Get through the day. Get through the day, and then all of a sudden, after a few days of caffeine, maybe a couple of weeks of no caffeine, you'll start feeling normal, and you'll be regulated, and then all of a sudden, the normal food that you eat, you'll be getting energy from that, and it'll be fueling you a lot longer instead of having the crashes up and down because caffeine's burned pretty quickly. Danny said, I'm Southeast Asian. People go to village witch doctor more than doctors because of the sketchiness. Yeah, yeah. I would go to the village doctor too. I would go to the village witch too, because at least they're trying to really help you, from whatever perspective they're coming from. At least they're trying. They're not just trying to make money off of you, because they're not making a lot of money. It wasn't about money back then. That was what they did for the village. That was their position in life. It's not your job. It's not how you make money. Because now everybody's addicted to money. Everybody's got all this money shit. It's like, no, your role in society, it's not your job. That's your role in society. And they have prerequisites for you to have that type of stuff, for you to be accepted as that. But it's just what it is. It's just what it is. Jeez, just at me next. real Johnny Yeager. You got the yeah. I'll at you next time, bro. I'll at you next time, bro. You know that. I don't have no problems atting you, bro. All right, Mahoney Games for an episode we should review. Kids on Dr. Phil. Probably fake, but it's interesting. Yeah, I'll check that out. I'll write that down actually. Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil. Yeah, Kids on Dr. Phil. Yeah, because that Dr. Phil is some horse shit. That Dr. Phil is some horse shit. Don't get me started. Mahoney, you're going to get me started on that. You're going to get me started on Dr. Phil. And I know he has a positive message, and he wants people to have, but the exploitation that he has from children, that he's doing from children, let's not forget that he has children come onto his show, and then he acts like Superman. Oh, we're going to fix this kid. We're going to fix this kid. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Spoiler alert, some kids are more willing to take it in. Some kids are just like, fuck off, leave me alone. Depends on the kid, really. Depends on the kid. You should never give up, though. You should definitely always try. But yeah, that Dr. Phil stuff, brother. We might do Dr. Phil just for funsies. We might do a Dr. Phil one just for fundy. Oh, what's up, Alexis? How are you? It's been a long time since I've seen you. How have you been, Alexis? How are you? It's a long time no chat. A long time no chat. How are you doing, Alexis? Mahoney. Oh, yep. We got the Dr. Phil. Oh, no, Mahoney, I didn't see that news. It's not necessarily news shy. It's kind of like what Dr. Phil does. It's kind of what Dr. Phil's known for. Is like, and it used to be, what was it back in the day? Was it Maury Povich? Before Maury did the You Are Not the Father too much, he had like problem child kids. And I guess that's like a daytime TV type thing too, is having the Scared Straight type television shows where they're trying to scare these kids into acting right. Which, don't get me started on, you're trying to intimidate teenagers into doing what you say by using force instead of explaining to them why living in a society, it's good for you to not show your ass so much, not go and not be so much of an asshole, because you have to socialize with people. And just like you got to keep them happy, they got to keep you happy. And you don't want to be dealing with too many assholes. So in order to keep the asshole number count down, we have to agree that we all live in a society, and we will bend each other's wills into being able to socialize with us to a certain extent. You don't want to go crazy with it, because then you'll hardline it and you'll spiral into being like a super religious cult type idea, or what was it, the first of the Pilgrims, like super religious, or like Amish type stuff. And I'm not saying that's like Amish type people are bad, but you know, it's not. I don't know. I'm mixed on Amish people, because I don't know if they're completely batshit crazy or if they have it all figured out. I don't know if Amish people have it all figured out or if they are batshit crazy. DK, Danny said, level out, my roommate was an intern at Maury. Oh, I'm jealous. That's fucking awesome. He said he just gave the guests energy drinks. That works. That works. Give them some energy drinks. Get their asses out there. Hey, man, get out there and go fight them. Go fight them. Bro, I went to an Amish community last year. How was it? How was the Amish community? It's different. It's definitely different. Laura, I will watch the replay. I can't stay. Not a good night. Super depressed. Sorry, gotta go. Sorry, Laura. Sorry, that sucks. I really wish that you would stay. But if you have to go, I totally understand that, and I don't want to. I don't want to try to push you into doing anything that you don't want to do, especially if you're not in the right headspace for it. But yes, Mahoney Games, the printing press fucked Europe up to this day. Its effects are felt. No printing press, no Reformation. Yep, the Reformation. No Reformation, no religious wars. No religious wars. Population will be larger today. Yeah, that's a very, very, very good point, Mahoney Games. And that was another point. So we had the positive side of the printing press, the negative side of the printing press. You had Martin Luther, and you had the Reformation of the Protestants. So you had Protestants versus Catholics. And then they just went crazy. But Mahoney, with that being said, is that like the Shia and the Sunnis, Muslims down in the Middle East? Or is it like the Buddhists and the Hindus? Or is it like the Hindus and the Muslims in India? Or is it like, I understand that the religious wars are bad and it happened to Europe. It seems to me like it's more of a human thing. It's more of a human thing. We get our spirituality, and then we're going to love, believe, and secure that spirituality, that ideology, whatever you want to call it, in our brains. We're going to keep it there, and we're going to try to spread it to other people because it's had such a positive effect on us. And the other shit has to be wrong because this had such a positive effect on me. There's no way that this could be a bad thing. So I have to push it out to as many people as I possibly can. So the printing press definitely had some very negative effects on, especially on Europe, whenever it happened in Europe. But it could be a positive effect too, because and the population will be a lot bigger. But if you would have not had that, and then you would have just had Catholicism, I feel like eventually something was going to happen. Eventually something would have happened. It would have happened by word of mouth if it didn't happen by the printing press. I think that the printing press just sped that. It just sped that process up a little bit. Anyway, Danny, no electricity. Our solar power, they see. They are robots. They wake up, do farming stuff, zero emotion. Yeah, they wake up at 4 a.m. every day. Every day. Same uniform they all wear, and each hats represent the family status. Oh, like grandpa get a special hat. Oh, is it based off of age? That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't really pay too much attention to that, but that's crazy, dude. Like, I have to go check it out. I definitely have to go check it out. Shy said, but I did hear a lot of shootouts recently. One of my friends was lost due to the shootout. Oh, I'm so sorry, Shy. That's horrible to hear. That's horrible to hear, Shy. I'm very, very sorry about that. I'm very, very sorry about that. That sucks. I love the fact that we're in here talking about society and we've went for an hour so far. You should really check it out. Best vacation I ever did. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. I already had it ready. Mahoney, it gives me a headache. Politics, religion, money, all that stupidity. Let's just be cavemen again. I'm with you on that. I'm so with you on that. I agree, man. I agree. It's like I was saying earlier. We have overcomplicated everything to where even people are killing themselves or just losing it. And that's why I was on this subject too, because the two guys who go on the rampage with the stories we're about to cover, they felt like they were fucked over and they wanted to get back. And I just thought it was cool seeing shit get ran over. You should spend another $200, 3 days, 3 days. You can like go hang out with the Amish people like that though. You can go stay with them and stuff. That's fucking awesome, dude. That's fucking awesome. All right, hold on, guys. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and then we'll continue it on. I'll be right back, and then we're gonna continue on rocking and rolling. Good show so far. Audio is good. Everything is good. Thank you, guys. Shai said I'm with you on that topic. Thank you, Shai. Or maybe she's... Oh, yeah, being cavemen. That'd be awesome, Shai. That'd be awesome if we could all be cavemen again. I'm for it. I stayed in the hotel. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Danny. Danny went and stayed with the Amish people, but he stayed in the hotel. My friend didn't want to stay at Amish Airbnb in the farm. Oh, and yes, Amish Airbnb is a thing. They probably have somebody who's not Amish to run the Airbnb part, the electrical part, and then, boom, probably get cash for it, right? I would think that they would get cash for it. Shai said, this moment of the JHTP moment is sponsored by Sheetz, Subway, McDonald's, and Zebra Cakes. Not McDonald's. Take McDonald's out of there. Come on, Shai. Come on, Shai. Why McDonald's? Yes, same for the restaurant. Right, exactly. So they have non-Amish people handle the online electronic stuff, and then they just deal it out with cash. What a funny workaround that is. That's a hilarious workaround that they have for that. I mean, good on them. Make your cash. And apparently a lot of these Amish people have a lot of money. Amish people, they ain't playing around with that cashola, baby. It ain't like they spend it on shit. All they're doing is just building and building and building and building and building and building. It's like a long-term, interesting plan they got going on there. I wonder what the hell's going on with those Amish people. All right, let's do it. So we just, Amish restaurant is owned by an Englishman. Workers are Amish. The card machine is only used by Englishmen. Ah, that's interesting, though. That's fascinating, dude. That's so fascinating. I do have to check out the Amish stuff now. Bro, Amish make good money with farming, landscaping, roofing. Yeah, dude. And they can charge extra because they are Amish. If they say, oh, well, I have this Amish heater here that we made at our Amish shop, they can charge so much more for that, and people are going to buy it because it's authentic. Even though it's just like anything else you get, but just the fact that it's from there, you know. Danny said, Amish love Costco. Amish love Costco. But that's another thing. So, like, think about the Amish people. They obviously didn't want to live in society today. They obviously didn't feel like today's standards was living up to what they needed as people. So it's an interesting thing. They have retired people drive them to the stores. That's fascinating, dude. Amish people are very fascinating, the way that they get it going. All right. So the first one. Now we'll go on. In 1995, this guy stole a tank. And let me get it off the YouTube stuff. Like, how do you steal a tank? Danny said, and back to the Amish stuff, Danny said, at the age of 16, Amish kids get to experience the world and see how they like it. 95% have stayed. Right. Right. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? That's like the going native whenever the Englishmen were colonizing the North America and the Spaniards to a lesser extent down south as well. But the North Americans, whenever there would be, they would call it going native. They would go off with the natives, live with the natives, and be like, I like this life better. And then they would live with the natives. I assume it's probably because you have less stress and you have less bullshit to deal with. And you're just really dealing with like the stuff that's really important for you to have to deal with. I don't think that there's too much. I mean, look, tribal society had a lot of, it had slavery. It had women. Women don't get to say or do anything. They're slaves. Or they could be kidnapped very easily. Like tribal society is very, very tough on mostly women, but it's just tough on everybody. But there's aspects of it, just like in anything, there's aspects of it that you really should take in, because we are animals at the end of the day. Anyway, heading back here now to the story. San Diego's 1995 tank rampage. This man snapped. He snapped, and that's what they're saying about in these stories. These people are snapping and losing their shit and going to fuck everything up. They're like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to fuck everything up. I'm going to ruin everyone's lives. So we'll head on to that. People can snap over any circumstances, we know that, and decide to get revenge when they feel like they've been wronged. Though not everyone goes through such lengths as one man did one infamous day in San Diego, California, 1995. One such person who took that a step further on May 17, 1995, when a man named Sean Nelson, a U.S. Army veteran and unemployed plumber, stole an M60A3 Patton tank, General Patton, from the United States National Guard in San Diego, California. Over the course of his rampage, of which was caught on live television, we are about to go over that, he left this destruction of many cars, fire hydrants, and even an RV vehicle in his wake. That's not as bad as the Killdozer. The Killdozer destroyed so much worse, and we're going to get into that next. But before he stole the tank and went on his infamous rampage, Nelson was a U.S. Army veteran who went about his life like anyone else. But his infamous crime proved what could happen when an ordinary person gets pushed too far towards the edge. I love how they are giving him the out. They're just like, he's a normal guy. Maybe he had a little bit of brain stuff going on with him. Maybe he was a little bit off his rocker, as they say. Maybe. Seems like it, right? But he had to understand how to drive the tank. You can't be too crazy to drive the tank. I don't think so anyway. Like, you're driving a tank. You got to know how to at least drive that damn thing. That's got to be complicated, as it is. Before he stole the tank and went on his infamous rampage, Nelson was a U.S. Army veteran who went about his life like anyone else. But his infamous crime proved what could happen when an ordinary person gets pushed too far towards the edge. What's up, DKNY? How you doing? We're talking about a bulldozer versus a tank and which one did more damage. And I already know which one did more damage, but it's still fun to talk about. I don't know. I still prefer the tank because it's awesome having a tank. But then this guy builds a makeshift tank. But we're not there yet. He later sued the hospital for $1.6 million. Seems like a lot for medical stuff. But he sustained neck injuries and back injuries from a motorcycle accident. He later sued the hospital for $1.6 million, citing negligence, assault, battery, and false imprisonment. Man, you got a lot of shit to prove with that, man. Additionally, he made the claim that he was forced to be treated without his consent. However, a superior court judge not only dismissed his case, but the hospital also countersued him for the $6,640 in medical fees and legal expenses. Oh, that sucks. But it seems like maybe, possibly, to me, it seems like maybe, possibly, he was trying to get some money. That's what it kind of looks like. That's what it kind of seems like now. Like Dude, it seems like, I mean, negligence, assault, battery, and false imprisonment when you're fucked up from a motorcycle accident. I mean, maybe you could have went for like one or two of them, but you went with all that. And people are so happy too. So without knowing the details of the case, it already seems like that's a lot, man. That's a lot, and you're blaming a freaking hospital whose job is supposed to be to take care of you, but you would think that they would be careful about that type of stuff, and I'm pretty sure they are. In 1991, his wife of 6 years filed divorce against him. In 1992, he lost both of his parents to cancer. Both of your parents in the same year to cancer. They were probably eating the same. And hey, guys, a lot of cancer comes from the food that we're eating. It's in the food that we're eating. So GMOs, GMOs, please try to eat as natural as possible. And I'm not saying vegan. You can eat meat. You can eat whatever you want. Try to eat as natural as possible because a lot of this cancer stuff is coming from food. There's statistics on it. It's coming from food. Please eat as healthy as possible. You can eat as much healthy food as you want, but just be careful with all these really bad snacks. And I know I joke about my zebra cakes. And I do love my zebra cakes. Don't get me wrong. I do love my zebra cakes. But I'm not eating them every day, and I'm not eating them all the time. I eat them for my shows and, when I'm feeling frisky. But please, guys, like, for the long run, man, I think the statistic was 70% of your diet could be 17% of the correlation of your diet with cancer. It could be correlated to the diet. 17%, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. According to Nelson's brother, Scott, a few years before the incident, his brother became addicted to meth. Well, there you go. I don't know if that tells you anything, but that kind of tells you a little bit. That definitely tells you a little bit. So man, that sucks. Nelson's neighbors made complaints against him to the authorities about hearing him yell at his roommates at night. So now he's a little bit unhinged. He's losing his temper a lot faster, especially if he's on meth. If he's on meth, there ain't no telling how he can get into his right mind because it's just not looking right. Also, around this time, Sean began behaving strangely, including one occasion in which he dug a hole 15 feet deep in his backyard to mine for gold. Hey, man, I'll do that. I'll start mining for gold out in the back of the apartment complex. And they probably should know if there's gold back there or not, I would think at this point. In February, Nelson filed a notice informing the county of his plans to mine for bedrock in his backyard. A fishing buddy of Nelson's, Carson Honings, referred to the activity as his friend's new hobby. And maybe, now I don't want to paint this guy as a super crazy person, but possibly, he had an idea of what was going, there may be something that he could do. He wasn't digging for gold, but he was digging for bedrock, which I guess could be gold. I guess that could be gold. Then things went downhill further. Nelson's plumbing business got halted from the combination of his neck and back problems, as well as meth. Let's remember, he was on meth, as well as his plumbing equipment getting stolen. Moreover, his live-in girlfriend had recently died of a fatal drug overdose. Furthermore, with his business halted, Nelson lost his income, which resulted in both his utilities getting cut off and his house going into foreclosure. So now, there you go. Modern society bearing down on that ass. Seems like he did try to make some money off of suing the hospital, so I don't really know how I really feel about that. I would have to look it up and see the real details on that and see if he really did get screwed over or if he was just trying to get some money, because maybe he was a meth head the whole time and maybe he really just wanted to make some money. There's no saying for sure, but I have my suspicions. He already seems suspicious, but I mean, we're talking about a guy who took a tank. He took a tank downtown San Diego. With all his problems accumulating, Nelson became more and more of a ticking time bomb. According to San Diego police, a week before his rampage, Nelson told a friend he was having suicidal thoughts. Not a good sign. The following weekend, he told another friend that Oklahoma was good stuff. Ooh, Oklahoma bombing. There was a bombing in Oklahoma and he said that that was good stuff. I don't know what. How could that be good stuff? You bombed a building. It was a government building. I don't know. We'll have to cover the Oklahoma City bombing because apparently there's like a lot of controversy about that. Conspiracy. We're gonna get us a conspiracy corner, guys. Transhumanism is on the way. Also, it is unclear whether this statement meant that Nelson condoned the act or if he was just into the drama that followed the aftermath. Yeah. Sounds like he said it was good stuff. Exactly, Mahoney Games. Everything that could have went wrong. And that's the unfortunate thing about it. Everything that could have went wrong. And this dude just said, fuck it. I'm going to go. Ain't that some shit, Danny? Danny said, holy shit. Yeah, dude. Like, but a comment like that, like, it's good stuff. It doesn't sound like it's good stuff like, well, what out of what about the Oklahoma City bombing was good stuff? Doesn't sound like good stuff. Nelson drove to the California Armory, National Guard. The armory located in Kearney Mesa, neighborhood of San Diego. I don't know if I pronounce that right. Was coincidentally left open instead of being locked at after 5 p.m. As usual that evening. The reason for this was due to employees reportedly working late at the time, and that's the normal shit that just happens. Despite the gate to the vehicle yard usually being locked after 5 p.m., the gate wasn't. At the time, the vehicle yard was left wholly deserted. After sneaking into the yard, Nelson went about making multiple attempts at breaking open several of the tank's hatches using a crowbar. Oh, if you could just break into it using a crowbar, you would think that everybody would do that. That's a tank, motherfucker. I don't think you can just break into it by using your arms, using your freaking silly little muscles and bones, and it's just not going to work, man. That's metal, dude. The first two tanks he managed to break into would not start. But after breaking into a third one, maybe I'm wrong, 57-ton M60A3 Patton, he got it to start. As soon as he got it started, a guardsman finally noticed him and began approaching the tank. In response, Nelson started driving away in the tank. Unable to stop him, the guardsman rushed to the phone to call the police. Thankfully, none of the tank's weapons could be loaded or used by Nelson, since the ammunition was kept separately in another building, as it should be. Good thinking, Army. Good thinking. For the next 23 minutes, Nelson led police on a televised chase through the streets of Claremont, San Diego neighborhood. The tank, having a top speed of 30 miles an hour, led to a slow chase compared to one involving a car. Yeah. Throughout Nelson's rampage, the tank plowed through road signs, traffic lights, utility poles, fire hydrants. In addition to that, the tank also crushed several parked vehicles, even slicing open an RV at one point. Due to the damage sustained by the tank, multiple utility poles, power was knocked out at least 5,100 customers. Moving on, Nelson headed to North Convoy Street, west on Balboa Avenue, entering Interstate 805 and headed south. While on Interstate 805, things turned from bizarre to scary when Nelson attempted to knock down a pedestrian bridge by repeatedly running into its support beams. Fortunately, the supports held strong enough, and Nelson had to move on. Next, Nelson drove the tank, the State Freeway. He drove all over the place. You guys want to see it? Let's go see it. Another more in-depth video piece of the incident. With the rampage finally over. Here we go. With Nelson now stuck, 4 San Diego police officers climb into the tank. One officer in particular, Paul Ratton, who at the time was a gunnery sergeant with the Marine Corps Reserve, opened the tank's hatch. Now cornered, they ordered Nelson to surrender. However, instead of complying, Nelson said nothing. Instead, he attempted to free the tank by moving it back and forth to resume the path of destruction and chaos. His attempts was ultimately stopped, however, when to put an end to the destruction once and for all, Nelson was shot through his shoulder by Officer Patton and Richard Piner. Another more in-depth video on the incident. With the rampage finally over, officials took Nelson to Sharp Hospital, where he ultimately died from his injuries. In the aftermath of the incident, questions were raised of how necessary was it for police to ultimately shoot Nelson. He's in a fucking tank. Was the action justified? In response, the police chief at the time, Townhall, defended the officer's action by saying he could have taken out no less than 35 vehicles that were passing at the moment. Furthermore, if police had opted to take non-lethal action instead, such as tear gas, while this would have stopped Nelson himself, it would have prevented the tank from moving again. It wouldn't have prevented the tank from moving in. Besides, even if they did use tear gas, none of the officers would have been able to enter the tank while it was still mobile and said tear gas was present. According to live news coverage made at the time, officials were at such a loss at how it was going to stop Nelson with what they had at their disposal, and they considered asking for help from the United States Marine Corps and have Cobra attack helicopter dispatched. When asked if the police were justified in shooting his brother, Nelson agreed that they were, and they were actually going to get some tank busters, some bunker busters in there to hit this tank and actually get him to stop, which is just a crazy, crazy situation because you never expect that. You never expect that. Hey, Daystone Wolf. What's up, Daystone Wolf? How you doing? Daystone Wolf is here, episode 96. Only 4 to go. Only 4 to go. Chalo, guys. Good night. I have to go back to finish work to hit the bed. Good night, Shy. I hope that you have a wonderful night. I do hope that you have a great night, Shy. And now we're going to go on to the live video of that stolen tank. All right, here we go. The stolen tank that we just talked about. Here he goes. Caught on tape. Now he's driving down, and look at this. Oh, fuck that RV all up. But look what's crazy though. Like he drives through it like it is absolutely nothing. And look at it. He's pushing a car like it is absolutely nothing. Another RV. He's just messing shit up, and he drove right through that like it was nothing. These tanks are no joke. That's what's crazy about it. I mean, it's very crazy anyway, but that's even more crazy about it. Driving a tank down in a city, like you never see anything like this. I've seen a lot of the tanks on trains, and damn, you see how quickly it just smashed it like it was Bigfoot. It smashed it more than it was Bigfoot. It smashed it more. These tanks are fucking crazy, guys. Like you got to be careful because. If you see a tank driving towards you, get out of there. Get out. Leave. He just ran over a fire hydrant. Now the water's shooting out. Everybody lost their water. Everybody lost their water for like a 30-mile radius after that point. It's ridiculous. It's Bigfoot. Yeah, exactly, Danny. Exactly. Daystone Wolf, this story reminds me of screwing around in GTA. Yeah, exactly. It's like real live GTA. Daystone Wolf, have to leave. We'll watch later, and we'll try not to miss the show next show. Awesome, Daystone Wolf. We'll see you. We'll see you next time anyway. Mahoney Games, do you think hospitals try less to save injured people? I would assume that it depends on the injury. Because there's probably sometimes, and look, I'm thinking that this is whenever it was going 30 miles an hour. But I would hope and think that most of them do. Grove Street for life. Shit, real life GTA. Yeah, Danny said real life GTA. Exactly, Daystone. It's real life GTA, man. You literally found a tank, dude. You found a tank. That's fucking insane. You think that's crazy? The next story is going to be more crazy because this guy, whoa, he did so much more. Rolling down the street, man. This guy just got it, like it's so crazy to me that this is, man, dude, like I thought we were going to get to where we stopped him, but I don't think they stopped him here. You need to move your cars away from that fucking tank. He will run you over like it's nothing. I wonder if he was having fun, though. A certain part of you, it's like the GTA thing. There's a part of us that do like destruction. There is a part of us that does like chaos. We do like chaos. That's why the story was all over everywhere, because people love the chaos. You want to know. You want to know what's going on. GTA, hey, man, this is like real-life GTA shit. Good stuff. We're not going to go with Oxford today. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, and we're talking about these stories, Byron said they put him down. I remember this. That video game shit messed up that 13-year-old kid's head. They put him down. Sad. 13-year-old? This guy wasn't a 13-year-old. Are you talking about which one are you talking about, Byron? Are you talking about the kids that were in Florida that were shooting? Or were you talking about the tank video that I was just watching? Because the tank video that's not a 13-year-old kid. That was a guy, we just went through his life story, and he was like at the bottom. He was like at the bottom of his life, and he felt like he didn't have any other choice, so he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory. That's what I'm thinking, man. I think people want to go out in a blaze of glory then. I guess that they like it, He was in a tank. Yes, exactly. He was in a tank. He was definitely in a tank. That was what we just saw. He was driving around, man. It's crazy. Mahoney Games, what I meant to say is, do you think hospitals try less to save criminals than non-criminals? Because it seems they always die from their injuries. Especially when it comes to a situation like this. I would think, oh man, that's a crazy ethical question, Mahoney. Now, the first thought would be, and we don't know what the nurses and the doctor's biases are, and if they are aware of this person or something. I would hope not, man. I would hope not, Mahoney, but I wouldn't put it past. I would not put it past him. Byron, this video was in Cali, I think, on the highway. Yes, it was on the highway. It was in San Diego. It was all throughout San Diego, and it wasn't all throughout San Diego. It was through a small town, and then it did get on the highway. But this guy just gave up. I guess he gave up. I don't know if he actually gave up for real, but he, is suicide by cop. And people do that. People do suicide by cop. All right, cop. All right. So now this guy was a meth head. This guy obviously he had some problems. He had some problems that was going on with him. Now this sounds like it's way more likely that he will not be as successful because he's not planning his things out. He's not trying to figure out a way to screw people over. He's just like, you know what? If I can get into one of these tanks, I'm gonna make it work. He broke into these tanks, and one of them he could get running, and then he went on a little rampage. This is a mini rampage compared to what we're about to cover. Danny said, did he get a federal charge? LOL. I mean, he got death. I guess that was a federal charge. I think the federal charge was death. Death by shot in the shoulder. He died they shot him in the shoulder. And there was controversy because people were saying they shouldn't have killed him because he didn't technically kill anybody. He just caused $1.7 million worth of damage. But I have to tell you, brother, there is a price on your head that the Federal Reserve has, and it's like $200,000, $300,000. We ain't worth much. We ain't worth $1.3 million. And it ain't the Federal Reserve, but I've seen these. It's just fun to say that because that's the conspiracy angle. But there are people who do put a price on people's head, and people aren't worth as much as you would think that they are. They're obviously worth everything to us, but when you get psychos trying to do the math, then there you go. Then they'll say anything. They'll say anything. These people are crazy. So this guy lost his mind. He was a military veteran. He was in a tank. He got in the tank. He went on his own little mini rampage. Why use a taser, not a gun? Yeah, and they were going to use gas, but they didn't want to gas him because he could have still gotten up and gotten out of there. Byron said, "Man, there is a different standard when they put people down. Like I would first go while single Christian from the South, a wild Cajun. Oh no, bye, quick shit. Yeah, wild Cajun. That's pretty much what he did. He went wild Cajun route. He went wild Cajun route. And we're about to do another wild Cajun route too. Hey, Heather Call, how are you? Good to see you. Danny, Man stole a whole tank. That's most likely loaded with cannons. Yeah, that's exactly. That's most likely loaded with cannons. Well, no, it wasn't. It ended up not luckily not having the guns on it and the ammo on it. Shit, shoot on sight. Yeah, exactly. I like your glasses. Thank you, Heather. Thank you. But yeah, that's the fucking crazy thing about it, dude. Like, man stole a whole tank, and he was just running through shit. All right. So this next story, it's called the Killdozer. The Killdozer, like a bulldozer. This is the Killdozer. This guy really felt like he was on it. Byron said it was taken from a military base. Yes, it was taken from one of the armories down there in San Diego. So this next guy, and he really, you think the other guy felt like he was getting screwed over? Let's talk to this guy, because it seems like the other guy probably went through more shit. But this guy was way more deliberate. The Killdozer is way more deliberate. And this is, I don't know, man. This is, he built a tank. He literally built a tank. He built a tank. So, the story of Marvin Heemeyer's revenge and his Killdozer. And here's a picture of the Killdozer. So, he don't want anybody getting in there because he's got a rampage to do. So let's get into this story. After his zoning petition was dismissed, Marvin Heemeyer decided to modify his bulldozer and get revenge on the town that wronged him. See, all these people think that they're wronged. They feel like they're wronged. Even if they're not, they feel like they are. When Marvin Heemeyer of Granby, Colorado, now we're out in Colorado, reached a dead end in his fight with the zoning commission. Now, this story is horseshit. They're trying to paint him in a little bit worse of a light, but let's call bullshit. The logical response would have been to petition them again and await for a future response. They already responded and they said that no, fuck off. He got his answer. They answered him. That's not the logical response. The logical response is not to keep asking, and then they say, oh, fuck off. We're not going to let you zone it. No, fuck off. We're not going to let you zone it. The story's going to plot. It's going to get a little bit thicker because you're going to see how much money is involved in this, and he really kind of does get fucked over because he ain't got that much money. It's all about money, guys. You got to have money. So after all, Marvin Heemeyer was said to be a logical man, so it makes sense that he would take a logical approach. I don't know who this writer is, but if you're petitioning the zoning commission that you want to zone out, you want to change the zoning laws or the zoning areas, and where your location is, and they tell you no, the logical thing isn't to ask again. It's done. They said no. They're going to say no again. Instead, this asshole, Marvin Heemeyer, went home, outfitted his Komatsu D355A bulldozer with armored plates, and drove it through the town, knocking down 13 buildings and causing $7 million worth of damage with his makeshift Killdozer. Hey, thank you, Byron, for liking the page. Thank you, Byron, for liking the status. Thank you so much. Mahoney Games, he had enough money to build a tank, didn't he? He did. He did. And guess what, Mahoney? He built one. He built one. And he fucked shit up. So the last one was $1.3 million. Homeboy who built his tank was like, you know what? I'm going to 6 times that. $7 million worth of damage. Fuck out of here. You got that military tank? I'll build something better. So he was like, I'm going to build the Killdozer. So Marvin Heemeyer's fight with the city had begun 3 years before he did this. And now here's a look inside of the Killdozer. So you see there's 2 monitors. So he had cameras outside of the tank, or whatever you want to call it. He had monitors outside of the tank, and then, or cameras outside of the tank, so he could see where he's going and the damage that he's doing. Wild shit, man. Wild shit. And then Byron said, now I can't like or love. I know. I wish you could like, brother. I wish you could like anomalies. There's a lot of anomalies, brother. There's a lot of anomalies with this. Inside the Killdozer, made by Marvin Heemeyer. And there's a bunch of documentaries about this stuff, guys. And I haven't watched any of the documentaries. I've just read about them. Heemeyer owned a small welding shop in town where he made his living repairing mufflers. He'd purchased the land on which his shop was built in 1992, and over the years had agreed to sell the land to a concrete company to build a plant. The negotiations hadn't been easy, and he'd been having trouble agreeing with the company on a suitable price because he wants his money. In 2001, the city approved construction of a concrete plant, zoning the land next to Heemeyer's for the use. Heemeyer was furious, as he'd used the land for the past 9 years as a shortcut between his home and his muffler shop. He petitioned the city to have the property rezoned to prevent the construction of the plant, but was rejected on multiple occasions. So at the beginning of this article, he said, well, the logical thing would be to say, ask him again. But dumb fuckface, dumb bullshit. Why do they always put in bullshit, dumb fuckface shit to try to paint something in a different light? This is horseshit. Of course, if he did it multiple occasions, the logical thing isn't just to fucking rezone it again because you have a multi-million-dollar company moving in right beside your shit and you can't decide to sell it. But now the city decided that you don't even have a choice in it. Now we're going to fuck you over. Does kind of sound like he's getting fucked over a little bit. Little bit fucked over. Maybe. So in early 2003, Marvin Heemeyer decided he had enough. A few years earlier, he purchased a bulldozer with the intent to use it to create an alternative route to his muffler shop through the land that is now sold to the concrete company, or is now zoned for the concrete company. Now, however, it would serve a new purpose as his weapon of mass destruction, the Killdozer. I love how his bulldozer has a moniker. Byron said, the writer wants you to side with the man. Dang. No, they want you to side with, they don't want you to side with the man. They're trying to make this man sound like he's crazy. And he is crazy going on a rampage like this. Definitely crazy. Not illogical, though. Especially if you want to make a point. So in early 2003, Marvin Heemeyer decided he had enough. Oh, I already read that part. His Killdozer. Here's a picture of a Killdozer going into a building. Ain't that some wild shit? That's some wild shit, man. He began outfitting his bulldozer with armored plates, covering the cabin, engine, parts of the tracks. He'd created the armor himself, using a concrete mix poured between sheets of steel, sometimes creating plates over a foot thick. In the end, the Killdozer was resistant to small arms fire and resistant to explosives. And indeed, the rounds fired at it during the rampage had no ill effect. Yeah, he had that bitch. He had a tank. He was in a tank, a bulldozer tank. As the armor covered much of the cabin, a video camera was mounted on the exterior for visibility, covered by a 3-inch bulletproof plastic. Inside the makeshift cockpit were 2 monitors on which Heemeyer could observe his destruction. There were also fans and an air conditioner to keep him cool, because you got to feel good whenever you're going on a rampage, guys. Make sure if you're going on a rampage, you want to make sure that you do feel good. You got to get that AC on. Finally, he fashioned 3 gun ports and outfitted them with a 50 caliber rifle, a .308 semi-automatic, and a .22. According to authorities, once he'd sealed himself inside the cockpit, it would be impossible to get out, and they don't believe he ever wanted to. When his Killdozer was finished, almost a year and a half after Heemeyer began assembling it, he took a year and a half to build this. A year and a half. He readied himself for his attack. On June 4th, 2004, he sealed himself inside his Killdozer's cockpit and set out for the town. He drove the machine out of his shop, through the wall, then plowed through the concrete plant, the Townhall, the newspaper office, a former judge's widow's home, a hardware store, other homes. Authorities realized that every business or home that had been bulldozed had some connection to Heemeyer and his plight against the zoning committee. Boy, he was pissed off. Be careful who you pissed off. They might be building a Killdozer tank, a bulldozer that you cannot shoot through. For 2 hours and 7 minutes, Marvin Heemeyer and his Killdozer rampaged through the town, damaging 13 buildings and knocking out gas services to City Hall. Such a panic was caused that the government considered authorizing the National Guard to attack with Apache helicopters, with Apache helicopters and an anti-tank missile. The attacks were even in place, and had Heemeyer not wedged himself in the basement of a hardware store on his own, they would have been carried out. So here's a truck, a destroyed XL Energy truck stuck in the Mountain Parks electric building. As he attempted to bulldoze Gamble's hardware store, he got the Killdozer stuck in the foundation. With the end in sight, Heemeyer killed himself with a gunshot to the head in his cockpit, determined to leave the world on his own terms. What's some wild shit, man? Wild, wild shit. Despite the nearly $7 million in property damage done to the town of Granby, not a single human besides Heemeyer was killed. A reverse 911 system was used to notify residents of the Killdozer so that they could get out of the way in time. So luckily, nobody was killed. Nobody was killed on any one of these. Yeah, Danny, ain't that some crazy shit, dude? That's some crazy shit, man. As for Marvin Heemeyer's Killdozer itself, the state... Okay, after the rampage, authorities searched Heemeyer's home and found multiple notes and audio tapes that outlined Heemeyer's motivations. He was talking about it, guys. He made notes. They also found that several men had visited Heemeyer's shop. Marvin Heemeyer. As for Marvin Heemeyer's Killdozer itself, the state officials decided to take apart and sell it for scrap. They sent pieces to dozens of scrap yards to stop admirers of Heemeyer's from snatching a piece, as it soon became clear that the Killdozer was going to be a subject of amateur builders for years to come. And I'm sure there's a bunch of amateur builders who were doing that. And that's what's crazy, guys. That's what, like, it is very, very, very crazy that the fucking guy had a Killdozer. This guy had a Killdozer. I mean, it's a bulldozer, but they called it a Killdozer. So let's go through a little bit. We'll go through a little bit of the Killdozer's footage. I like this one, but we're going to have to turn the audio off of it because, they have a movie? Oh, come on. They did a movie for it? That's corny. All right. There we go. All right. So this is on Discovery, so I'm going to turn the audio off so that we don't have to worry about too much of that, and we'll let Discovery play through. Danny, not only did he plan this ahead of time, he planned it a year and a half ahead of time, dude. A year and a half ahead of time. He had to have time to make it completely bulletproof. He had to have time to be able to get it ready for the rampage that he was getting ready to go. That he was getting ready to go down. All right, now here's the Killdozer, guys. Look at that. Look at that tearing that building. Ooh, boy. That's crazy, man. That's some crazy shit, man. Oh no, what happened? What happened? What happened? Oh, there we go. Go back a little bit. Look at that. It's nothing, guys. This is nothing. He's got a bulldozer. It's literally a bulldozer. I wonder how much weight he added to it. Look at, tore that tree down like it was nothing. This is moving very fast, though. I think I got to turn the speed down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. It's so crazy, though, dude. This dude went crazy. He lost. I mean, did he lose it, or did he just have enough, and he wanted to make a point? It seems like he really wanted to make a point, and then he was going to kill himself. But this is another one of those things. Like, he could have killed so many people. But look at this damn thing. It's just running through all over the place. And then He didn't do too bad to that one. It's all encased in metal. You see all the debris on top of it, I mean, I wonder how long it took for him to weld all of that stuff together. I mean, I guess it was a year and a half. None of the guns were working. You can see, like, people are shooting at it, and it's not doing anything. You see, on the inside, there you go. There he's got guns. He's like, he had, like, guns shot out, or he had, like, hole spots for the guns to be able to, like, shoot people off of it. I guess, like, it was a zombie invasion or something like that. He's got the cameras. Let's see here. There's a gun right there. There's another spot right there. He's sniping. He's getting ready to snipe everybody. Another gun right there. So he had 3 spots for the 3 guns that he had. And there goes some of them. So he did shoot some of them. There goes one of the monitors. There's the two of the monitors that he had the camera hooked up to. Doesn't seem like a dumb guy. He tore down so many. I think he tore down like 12 buildings, guys. Like 12 buildings. Look at all this damage. That's a lot of damage he did, man. This guy messed up everything, dude. He was not playing. He wasn't playing. It looked like people are trying to put their cars in the way. You're not going to stop it. Not until that damn thing breaks down itself. I wonder if they're afraid that he's going to run him over or shoot him. Oops. And now you got this truck right here. They're going to try to get in the way of him, but it ain't no match for the bulldozer, man. It ain't no match for the bulldozer. They're just trying to do anything so that they can stop him. They're trying to put anything in front of him to stop him. They just can't do it. And now you see, like, he's going head first into this big old truck. It looks like they're trying to get it out of the way, though. They're like, fuck that. But now he is pushing it. He's messing their shit up. Like, no, get that out of there, man. Get it out of there. And there he is, tearing up the building. I think this is the last building that he got into, that he tore up before they finally got him. So now they're trying to trap him in. So they put that behind him so that if he had to reverse, he can't reverse out. So he has to keep going forward. But hopefully he would get stuck going forward. That was what they were hoping. I mean, what else are you hoping, you know? But then he gets caught up in, like, somebody's basement. And like and there they are trying to break into it. It took them like 30 to 40 minutes just to break into the thing because it was all welded shut. They don't think that he was planning on coming out. He welded himself in there, and he wasn't leaving. Just think of that, though, guys. Just think of how crazy that is, because that right there, that's just one of those things that, like, dude, you never see that type of stuff happen, man. You never see that type of stuff happen. But it happened. It happened, and it happens. People lose their minds, and they go crazy. We are living in a modern society, and modern society will make you feel like you are going crazy at some point, you know? A lot of the depression, a lot of everything going on. It's tough. The best thing that we can do, guys, is connect with each other. Try to stay on top of each other and make sure that everybody is okay. Make sure that you're not going through anything bad, man. Everybody's going through some shit, but make sure that you're there to support everybody. Support everybody as much as you can. And maybe there could have been, probably not, but maybe there could have been somebody who would have stopped him, from doing that, who would have stopped him from getting so angry to where he had to get back at the people that he wanted to, and he was going to kill himself. And, you know, I feel like that's a pretty normal thing that you see happens at I mean, fuck. You see it everywhere. You see it like with the mass shootings. You see it with people stabbing each other. You see it with people fighting. You see it with people hitting each other with cars. There's so many ways to kill people. Mahoney Games. America needs to sort out its gun laws. Yeah. You just have a lot of easy access. That's the main thing, but people don't take care of themselves. Byron, a demonstration of love would have worked. Hopefully, anger does anger does. He must hate the people in town. Yeah, he hated the people who he felt were screwing him over. And it kind of sounds like he was getting screwed over. And he was like, fuck this. I'm going to make a point. Mahoney said, how did nobody notice he was building it and reported it? So I read in the article just now that he mentioned in his notes, in his audio, so he had some audio files where he was like talking to himself, and he noted in his audio files that everybody who came over to his house didn't notice it. He was like, nobody noticed. So he was definitely taking notes. He was taking notes on that, and he was trying to make sure that people weren't, on to what he was doing. It took him a year and a half. I would have thought by this point somebody would have known. Somebody would have had an idea. Somebody would have known. Nope, not the case. Nobody knew. Nobody had an idea. That's what's crazy, man. That's what's crazy. Micah, what's up, Micah? It was good seeing you this past weekend, man. Micah said, I missed the stream. I've been in meetings all day. It's okay. It's all good, Micah. We will see you tomorrow. We do these every weekday, so it's all good, Micah. No worries. We're just finishing up right now anyway. I'm going to do my final thoughts, and my final thoughts is, if you want a tank, go buy a tank. You can go buy tanks, guys. You can go buy tanks online, by the way. It's like Tanks R Us. There's a website where you can buy tanks. Now, I don't think it's legal for you to own it unless you're in Florida. Florida's the only state one of the only states that'll let you own a fucking tank. But yeah, there was people that I seen a news article where people were like, what? This guy has a tank in his yard. And they were like, well, it's legal. Can't do much about it. And if it doesn't have any of the weapons on it, there's not much you can do about it. We might cover that again. I might try to see if I can find some more Rampage videos. And maybe we can find the one that you were talking about, Byron. And we can go back to that one. But anyway, guys, this was a good night. This was fun. I will talk to you all later on. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have a good night. And, don't let the